And we come now to 0 hour 30 Universal Time. In the news at this hour, news reports say American Marines may have murdered at least 15 Iraqi civilians last November. American officials reportedly said the evidence suggests that at least 15 Iraqis in Haditha were killed without reason. The officials asked not to be identified. A military investigation of the incident has not finished. The military also is investigating a second incident that took place last month near Hamaniya, west of Baghdad. Marines reportedly killed one Iraqi civilian there. The Marines being investigated have returned to the United States. Iran has rejected a United States offer to hold direct talks about the situation in Iraq. Iranian Foreign Minister Manouchehr Mottaki spoke after meeting with Iraqi leaders in Baghdad on Friday. Mr. Mottaki said Iran has decided against talks. He accused the United States of wanting to discuss issues other than Iraq. He also warned the Bush administration that Iran would strike back if it is attacked by the United States. On Friday, Iraqi Foreign Minister Hoshyar Zebari said Iran had a right to a peaceful atomic energy program. In a news conference, Mr. Zabari also said Iraq does not want any Middle East nations to have nuclear weapons. The Palestinian government has withdrawn a private army from the streets of the Gaza Strip to ease tensions between Hamas and Fatah. The withdrawal came on the second day of talks in Ramallah between representatives of the two groups. Hamas leads the government of the Palestinian Authority. Hamas deployed about 3,000 men in Gaza earlier this month. Their deployment led to deadly clashes with Fatah forces loyal to Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. Lebanese security officials say a bomb attack in Sidon has killed a leading member of the militant Palestinian group Islamic Jihad. They say the brother of Mahmoud Matzoub also died in the attack. The bomb had been placed in a car. It exploded as the two walked past. There has been no claim of responsibility. Islamic Jihad blames Israel for the attack. Israeli officials deny any knowledge of the bombing. A Russian court has sentenced the only surviving attacker of a school in southern Russia. Nurpashi Kulayev was found guilty of all charges, including terrorism and murder. Government lawyers had asked that Kulayev be executed, but the judge said that is not possible because of a ban on death sentences. The attackers seized more than 1,000 hostages at a school in the town of Beslan almost 2 years ago. After 3 days, Russian security forces fought with the hostage-takers. 331 people were killed. More than half the victims were children. You are listening to the news in VOA Special English. United Nations Secretary-General Kofi Annan has urged an immediate ceasefire in Mogadishu, the capital of Somalia. A spokesman said on Friday that Mr. Annan called on both sides to honor human rights law. He also urged the fighters to protect humanitarian workers and to not block aid to the civilians. Almost 50 people were killed on Wednesday and Thursday in clashes between Islamic fighters and an alliance of private armies. Thousands of people have fled their homes to escape the fighting. The government and rebels in Nepal have begun talks aimed at ending a 10-year-long rebellion. Officials say government and rebel negotiators met late on Friday near Kathmandu. The meeting started just hours after the two sides agreed to hold peace talks. Negotiators say the discussions are expected to prepare for a meeting between rebel chief Prachanda and Nepal's Prime Minister Girija Prasad Koirala. Hopes for an end to the rebellion have increased since a new government took power in Nepal last month. In Sri Lanka, Norway's top peace diplomat Erik Solheim has met with Sri Lankan President Mahinda Rajapaksa in Colombo. The meeting was an effort to restart peace talks between the Sri Lankan government and the Tamil Tiger rebels. Details of the talks have not been released. The Norwegian diplomat is expected to travel on to India. He will talk to Indian officials about efforts to include the Tamil rebels in peace negotiations. The rebels withdrew from the peace talks in 2003. Recently, violence between the two sides has increased. Last month, an attempt was made on the life of Sri Lanka's army chief. And calm has returned to Dili, the capital of East Timor, after Australian peacekeepers deployed there on Friday. Australia is sending more than 1,000 peacekeepers to prevent more clashes between East Timor troops and former soldiers. The Australian Defence Minister explained the rules for the deployment on Australian television. He said that East Timor's leaders had agreed that the Australians would work with East Timorese officials to disarm rebels. And so briefly now, here again is the major news of this hour. News reports say American Marines may have murdered at least 15 Iraqi civilians last November. Iran has rejected a United States offer to hold direct talks about the situation in Iraq. And the Palestinian government has withdrawn a private army from the streets of the Gaza Strip to ease tensions between Hamas and Fatah. So ends the news in VOA Special English.